we were getting a lot of inquiries on making a device for visually impaired people, but we didn't necessarily have a lot of, let's say, financial support or talent or tech support necessary to bring our vision to life. And that's when I reached out to FSI and the CBS community to see whether they could help us gauge the right talent to come to support the Seekr's mission and support us in creating and making our Seekr a reality.
Mainly with Seekr, I was assigned the task of redesigning their mobile app, which will be used with their device, and also their website, which will be used for informational and marketing purposes.
So this is what she designed, and this is what we've implemented. So this is your first time seeing what
actual, not prototype, like actual.
No, this is actual.
Oh my god!
It's going to go live soon. So let's say we take a photo now. Okay, let's do scene detection.
A person standing in front of a mirror taking a picture.
Okay, I don't know where the mirror is coming from, but then anyways, you get the point. Yeah. So this is what she built, and we're using it. Yeah.
Yeah. So working with Audrey, I would say the outcome was very positive. Not just the app, but the style guide that she made. We're going to use it for our new website, and we're using it for our social media. So it's really part of our brand now.
I think first of all, if it comes to like soft skills, of course, since it's like first time meeting Lamia and even Safwan in real life. So one very like evident soft skill I learned was working remotely. And thanks to that, I also trained my like self-discipline, because sometimes the feedback I got, I couldn't really understand. And I was the one who had to take the initiative and like, hey, I want to clarify if this is what you're looking for. So it really gave me the courage to not feel ashamed for asking for more information. Then, of course, in terms of like hard skills, this was my first time sitting down and using Figma to create a whole project. Surprisingly enough, it made me realize when people say there's a lot of resources online, it's actually a lot of resources online to the point where you might not even need to go like a physical class for all of this. Actually, even right now, a professor reached out to me to redesign a faculty website. So I guess it's like a transferable skill where I can still use like hard skills to actually design something, create something.
When Audrey joined us, we had our first batch of interns, but afterwards, in the span of 6 months, we've had 5 batches of interns, and it's actually taught us to be better leaders, better delegators, if that's a word, and also to understand what makes a person motivated. Because oftentimes in a startup, when you don't necessarily have a lot of financial support, you need to find other ways to keep people motivated and making sure that they are still aligned with the mission day in and day out. So that was a huge learning for us.
Throughout my time in university, most of the times, the pathways that they teach us for the future is either you go to the corporate, you start your own business, or you continue in academia. And I realized that even if in the future, even if I go on to do like either pathway that I just mentioned, maybe something that I would like to keep in mind is every action I do, there is a choice for me to give back to society. Of course, I would love to recommend community business support to any like future interns, because it's a very fulfilling experience, like spiritually. You know that your skills can be used to help someone, and that someone can help more people. So it's like a very big ripple effect.
From my understanding of, all these programs that are out there for startups, right? It's usually like mentor-mentee relationships. Mentee-mentor relationships are definitely very useful when it comes to connection. But let's say when there's something that comes out of the blue, like one thing that we've always needed FSI's help with is recruiting talent. There's a huge amount of students that want to work in startups, but they might not necessarily fit in well with the culture that a particular startup might be having. FSI really is that connector when it comes to, let's say, students and startups. Another thing is not just the right talent, but also access to facilities. We are a product-based company, so marketing materials and, let's say, product shots are very, very important to us. To have a place where you could come and take those photos and make sure that you have the right branding is what I feel like I can always rely on FSI on.
I found the concept of FSI really, really helpful because it really makes sense for startups. A startup that is just starting out, obviously they're not gonna have talent in every domain. FSI really helps to fill in those gaps. We had an engagement with Accenture, which was really helpful as well through FSI. So with Audrey, we improved our branding, but with the Accenture engagement, we actually gained a lot of knowledge about how to communicate Seekr's mission to investors, businesses, etc. It really helped me with creating all the slide decks, pitch decks, and we had to make a lot of them. We had to make a lot of pitch decks.
With the support, the continuous support from FSI, we've been able to make a name for ourselves in the startup community. One of them being like getting into the top 30 in Alibaba Jumpstarter competition. We also recently won IP Hatch. We're working with like some really big, I can't reveal the names yet, but some very big organizations who are willing to transfer their IP ownership to us. So a lot of huge things are happening because of Safwan and Audrey. And like you mentioned, it is the ripple effect, and any startup that really wants to make a mark, they should definitely consider joining FSI and joining the CBS community. I would highly encourage that to students.